Hi Taurus, and welcome to your March 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to bring you a brief and hopefully poignant reading for your month ahead. Let's talk about you, intuitive messages week by week, and extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below. So getting straight into it. Intuitively, Taurus, your month deals mostly with adjusting to this new north node in your sign and south node opposing you. I have a whole video on this, which I will link below and in the top right-hand corner, if you would like to get more insight on that specifically. But I feel that whatever you can do in March to change your lifestyle and to be a little bit less reliant on constructs like money and work and wages or returns on investments, anything that you can do to not have to have all of it or more than it every single month will start to really benefit you in the future. Because basically you've got bigger things to do with yourself than to be a wage laborer for your entire life, okay? And this is a wake-up call that I'm giving to like 80 or 90% of people. And it's something that I really want to push with my channel, you know, in what small platform that I have in this world. I would like to help people to not devote their entire life to wage labor, okay? We have to maybe have a completely different ideation of what money is in our life, what our means are, and what we are creating with our futures and with our with what abundance that we do have. So your month, Taurus, as we are in the ending of the previous year cycle, year of the ox, we're already in year of the tiger, but the astrological new year is with the new moon in Aries on March 21st. So all of that we experienced in the year of 2021 in the ox year cycle is closing, and we are stepping into a much more aggressive, much more I will not settle for what isn't my purpose just to like get me by. It's basically by the time we get into like April, Taurus, it's going to be really unfortunate feeling for us to like be in a job because we have credit card debt, and that's all. That's the only reason. Or to be working only to pay off student loans, or to be in any situation that revolves around themes of like debt slavery, or also being a slave to your own lifestyle, or being a vassal to your own tastes. So overpriced skincare. I have a problem with this as well. Skincare is something that's really important to me, and God only knows what Sky has spent on skincare and coffee in his entire life. It's probably like not enough to retire on, but it would really help my retirement accounts if I were to have that back. So we have maybe a bit of a shift, and we have a need to conserve what we have better, and we have a need also to be able to use our resources in a more formidable way. We have inflation. We have rising prices across the board. We have also potentially decreases actually in wages. So that's a really difficult thing to be going through, but we are going through it, and we have to make changes to adjust to what that means for our lives. We should have our own house by now. We should have our own paid off house, honestly, as we are here in this post-triple retrograde conjunction of Capricorn that happened in 2020. It's very hard for people who don't have their own shelter, for people that have like monthly living costs that are like absolutely unsustainable, very, very hard. So time in March of 2022 to maybe fix that, or to get ourselves under control a little bit more, and not be so reliant on sources of income, okay? Your next intuitive message, Taurus, also deals with forgiveness, okay? So forgiving the traumas of the past, they are contributing to this monetary crisis you might be having. Again, that becomes sort of a karmic way to understand, like, life force energy, and, how we feel so drained after we go through a trauma or a breakup or some type of hard story. We then maybe have to work a long, laborious job and barely get by with it just to remind ourselves of what it's like to not have that relationship, or to not have that old person in our lives, or to also prove to ourselves that we are capable to overcome it. Okay, this is the month, Pisces season, okay, 2022. Wash that stuff away, these old narratives that I have to get into a power position in order to express my state of being transcended from a trauma, or I have to, have $4,000 a month in like mortgage and car payments just to prove to myself as like a material proof that I am not poor anymore. Okay. We have to know inside where we are. We have to know privately where we are and not feel like we have to show it or display it in status. I feel like a lot of Taurus, especially on this channel, are already out of this, but think about how things could be more beautiful in more understated and subdued ways. Okay. Because status symbols and also what it takes to keep those things, to me, feels very out of fashion by like 2024. So we could be contributing a lot of energy to something that is meaningless later. So just keep that in mind, Taurus. Positive for you, intuitive messages. You could meet someone new, especially once we get past the equinox, and even through like your season, I'm seeing the right people coming in. So that's another reason why I want you guys to have availability in your life and to not have to be working, 40 hours a week. 40 hours a week is too much to work, okay? But it's kind of like a default line for a lot of people. Like, I have to work that much in order to have like my health insurance. It's a sad story that we're in societally there. And I feel you, as a self-employed person myself, my health insurance bill is like something that could provide housing for someone. It's really crazy to me that one person's health insurance bill, self-employed, is enough in annual premiums to provide my housing. That's shocking to me. Anyway, here we have Sky kind of getting out of the territory, but it's a weird world that we live in right now, and sometimes we have to keep on keeping on in order to, I don't know, have access to healthcare. We have to pay the price of a mortgage. Anyway, I also feel that there might be something that Taurus people have to get a little bit mad about, and they have to maybe be like, yeah, I did spend that much in a year on coffee. I did spend that much in a year on car maintenance, and that was enough to like do this, and I'm a little bit upset about that. And now there is a redistribution of my own energy in a way that I can maybe get ahead in my life and not be a servant to a certain income source. So let's talk about your week-to-week Taurus. That's kind of wrapping it up on the intuitive messages. Week number 1, you've got the Hermit, rooted down by the King of Swords. You've got to spend some time alone and do some soul searching, okay? And some brain searching and like some building or connecting of new synapses here. When the North Node is in your sign, it means that we've come up against a bit of a brick wall. It means that we have to be able to break through that brick wall. And sometimes that takes new synapses, and we don't just want to be using our head to like bang through this brick wall. Instead, we want to like maybe do this very smartly and in good timing. Okay, so you are needing to detach from the considerations of other people. You are needing to worry about you. Okay, this is not about that ex from the past. This is not about your family. This is not about your current marriage. This is not about any of that stuff. And you don't want to misplace your ideation of what the source is. The source is you, and you got to really understand what you want out of life here. First week, it will be a revelation for you, or really reveal a lot to you about who you want to be. This could also see you going somewhere alone, or it could show you being in a like cabin in the woods alone, or going on a vacation alone, or being somewhere that you've never been alone. And it feels good. I've talked in the 2022 year ahead forecasts about needing to be somewhere we've never been before alone, okay? So that we can know who we are, and so that we can get out of the projection of other people. We have a projection crisis here, Taurus. You could have other people like advisors, employers, employees, whatever. You could have them really projecting who they are onto you and living vicariously through you, and that needs to be broken off a little bit because it kind of influences you in weird ways. So yes, week number 2, you have the Knight of Swords rooted down by 7 of Cups, breaking through the BS, okay? Breaking straight through it. We have to break a barrier during this time. Again, there's a feeling to me of a wall being broken, or some type of previous boundary being taken down. And again, with the astrological weather, I'm feeling that this is financial or monetary. So you might get a raise, you might have more and you don't know what to do with it. And you're like, I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to buy my third car. I'm going to buy a vacation house. And we want to maybe understand how we can make this last and not just completely go right now. So you have, the allure of status, I feel, always with the Seven of Cups. That has to be cut through here, majorly. Okay, week 3, 7 of Swords written down by 2 of Cups. Now we have the allure of relationships or the allure of partnership being cut through, or being also a dangerous game. Watch out for any type of weird feeling relationships or people giving you something. I always feel with 7 of Swords that sometimes we're getting something too easily, or it's almost too good to be true. Like, wow, look at all of these swords. I could sell those swords. Like, I have all these, swords in the tarot, to me, also being representative of power in a way, because a sword is like a weapon and it gives you like a leg up. So in this sort of more archaic ideation, it's kind of like the idea of like force or power. And 7 of Swords to me is like someone carrying too much power. And like, how did they get it? Maybe they got it too easily. And now it's unwieldy. And now also people are expecting something of you. So connected to the 2 of Cups, this could be like your spouse or your partner, or it could be also you. Like, you might be expecting too much from yourself. You might be really overbearing yourself. And I feel by the 4th week with 9 of Wands rooted down by 5 of Wands, that's kind of deteriorating, or that is on its last legs. So we have maybe a revamping of our own self-expectation. We have a perhaps dialogue we have to have with another person about like not perhaps being able to live up to those expectations, or perhaps revealing to them that their projection upon us is them, not us. And that feels to me vital for you in the 4th week. And you want to really see what's too hard, okay, and what is conflicting within you so that you can rise above that. But anyway, Taurus, I'm going to conclude your reading. I will do an extended reading for you on Patreon, and we'll talk about more about overcoming these conflicts and transcending some of these difficulties coming up in the month of March. So if you would like that, I will link it below and in the center of your screen now. Thank you so much, Taurus. Have a wonderful month. Bye.